September 1944. The Allied forces are poised to strike a crippling blow to Nazi Germany. What was supposed to be a bold, lightning-fast offensive to end the war early turned into one of World War II's most daring and tragic military operations, Operation Market Garden. Operation Market Garden was conceived as a two-part operation. First, airborne forces, made up mostly of British, American, and Polish paratroopers, would seize key bridges across rivers in the Netherlands. This part, called Market, was all about speed and surprise. The Garden part of the plan involved the British XXX Corps racing up from Belgium, advancing 100 kilometers to relieve the airborne troops and punch through the German lines. Led by Field Marshal Bernard Montgomery, the plan was ambitious, even audacious. If successful, it would outflank Germany's formidable Siegfried Line, drive a wedge into Nazi territory, and possibly end the war by Christmas 1944. On September 17th, the operation began. Thousands of paratroopers dropped behind enemy lines. Their mission, to capture vital bridges over the Rhine River and hold them until reinforcements arrived. The first few bridges fell quickly into Allied hands, including Nijmegen and Eindhoven. It seemed like things were going according to plan. But the Germans were far stronger than anticipated, especially around Arnhem. British paratroopers, led by Major General Roy Urquhart, landed near Arnhem. They were tasked with capturing the final, most crucial bridge, the gateway into Germany. But they were soon surrounded by two elite German SS Panzer divisions. The British troops were cut off, heavily outnumbered, and running out of supplies. Despite their fierce resistance, the relief forces from XXX Corps couldn't reach them in time. Meanwhile, XXX Corps faced their own problems. Destroyed bridges, narrow roads, and strong German defenses bogged them down. Every mile gained was hard fought, and the clock was ticking for the airborne troops at Arnhem. For 9 days, British paratroopers held out in Arnhem. But by September 25th, it was clear the operation had failed. Of the 10,000 men dropped into Arnhem, only 2,000 were evacuated. The rest were killed, wounded, or captured. Market Garden, despite its ambition, ended in disaster. The Allies had underestimated German strength, overestimated their ability to advance quickly, and faced logistical nightmares. Arnhem was a bridge too far. In total, over 15,000 Allied troops were lost during the operation. It was the largest airborne operation in history, but also one of the costliest failures of the war. Today, the bridges stand as silent witnesses to the bravery and sacrifice of those who fought. The Dutch people still remember the courage of the soldiers who liberated their country, even in the face of defeat. From this point on, the Germans were in full retreat and the Soviets were on the march toward Berlin. By April 1945, the war that had begun with the Nazi invasion of the Soviet Union was coming to a close. The Red Army stormed into Berlin, and after brutal street-to-street fighting, the Third Reich collapsed. On May 9, 1945, the Soviet Union celebrated Victory Day. The War of Liberty had been won. But the cost was staggering. Over 20 million Soviet lives had been lost. The scars of the war would run deep, but the Soviet Union had emerged victorious. The clash between the German Reich and the Soviet Union wasn't just a fight for territory. It was a war that defined the future of Europe and the fate of millions. Today, the memory of the Great Patriotic War, as it's known in Russia, is still very much alive. The Soviet victory over Nazi Germany not only saved Europe from fascist domination, but also reshaped the post-war world order. The War of Liberty between the German Reich and the Soviet Union wasn't just a military conflict. It was a battle for the soul of Europe. And while both nations bore the scars of war, the Soviet victory ensured that the darkness of fascism would never fully eclipse the light of freedom. This war was a turning point in human history. Its lessons remind us of the terrible cost of totalitarianism and the enduring power of liberty. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to dive deeper into history's greatest moments.